Welcome to Minecraft Jerusalem. I'm Robert, your host, and, well, here we are. I've got this approximately the height of the wall we're going to build. After the last episode, I decided we should simply use the smooth sandstone and build our wall. Now, although this is laid out approximately, which I did in the Minecraft World Editor, which is a separate program, and it's free. But what I'm going to do now is lay these out mathematically, and I'm not going to lay out all of the walls in this episode. I'm just going to show you how I do this. We'll start with 7 line segments that go 8 north and 1 east. So I'll start right here. This is going to be number 1, 2, just blow that out, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that correct? Is that what I said? Yes, 8. And so then we move over 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to keep that level. 4. Now, how many line segments is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I needed a total of 7 of them. So I'm going to do 7 at the other end and kind of split those up a little bit. Now, our line segments are going to be a bit different. They're going to go 12 north and 1 west. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I have to do that 69 more times. And now we're on the south wall, and I'm going to put a few in. Hold on, whoops. Let me take care of that. Okay, so I'm going to bust a few of these up. Now, this wall has to move with 4 segments going 4 west and, 4 east and 1 north, and 98 segments that go 5 east and 1 north. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go back in, okay. And how many did I say? I said 4 of those. So that's 2 of them, and we're going to put 2 at the other end. And so this will be our 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are going to be structures in front of this. We're going to have stairs that will mount up. That's very high. Look at that. And as we mentioned in previous videos, we are looking out on this long ridge here. It's very big. It was built big enough to build a small city, and that was where the city of David was. We are in Minecraft, and it's got to be in a block form. And the resolution is 1 meter by 1 meter, and so we can't get it any finer than that. So we've got 1 wall started this way, 1 wall started that way, and this one looks like it's going to diverge some from that. Let me get on this and sight down it. And this is why you check your work, boys and girls. And when I have got this going the way I want it to go, then I think I'll do something of a time lapse so that you don't have to watch this whole thing going on in real time. All right, are you ready for that? Let's go. And there you go. Time lapse over. And I'm just guessing that these segments of 4 here at the end are placed properly. It seems to line us up right about where we're supposed to be. Our freehand drawing in the World Editor, not too bad. And our math seems to have worked out. Now, I don't know if this is 98 segments, not without counting. And you know what? Ah, look at that. See? There's a mistake. Now, do I really want to go back and fix that mistake? That's a good question. Is it? Yeah, that's a mistake. I went a whole 10 blocks there. As often as I was checking. See, when you're coming down that slope, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And what that does is that offsets us 1 to the north going this way. And if you're looking down the wall, yeah, you'll see it. It'll be visible. So easy to get messed up. Let's see if we have any other errors along the way. Check your work, people. Always check your work. And obviously, I did not check my work sufficiently. We're almost to the end there, and I did so well. I got so many of them done, and still, there at the very end, made a mistake on that one segment. Is it only one? All of these look of a uniform length. It looks like I got all of the line segments 5 long. As you can see, a lot straighter and a lot neater. Than the freehand drawing. Although it converged pretty closely in several places there. In the time lapse, you could probably see me backing up into parts of it. Doggone it, and there's that chicken. Doggone it, I hate that I made a mistake. It won't be the last one. You know, the only question that I have is, am I going to tear this out and redo all of those? Well, what do you think King Herod would have had the slave labor do? Probably slave labor building the retaining walls. The actual work of the temple proper would not have been done by the slaves. No, that would have been done by the priests who were hired for the job. And so all of that just moves down one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to tear all this out, and we'll be back after that. And there, we've worked into the night. We're lined up more or less with the city wall. For some reason, when I drew this out on large scale, it kind of went a little cattywampus there, but I'm going to say that it really goes like that, because that does look a little bit better, doesn't it, as we line up with our east wall. So checking our work once again, here are your 2 segments of 4, and all of these segments of 5. There should be, if we calculated this correctly, 98 of these. And I know that I went through and I tore out a wall where I had doubled up and had a segment of 10 instead of 2 separate segments of 5, but that's because that would be something that you would see looking at this as you went along, and we just don't want to do that. We want wide expanses of uniform straight wall going down. So I'll tear out a mistake of that kind. Now look at that one. There's 4 right there, and that should be 5. But I'm not going to tear that out, because that's not going to be quite as obvious. It would mean, you know, taking out this corner, adding a corner here, and then doing the same thing all the way down this line. And I don't think that's necessary. This is not as obvious an error, and I missed it the first time around. That is not as obvious an error as a segment of 10. So being one off right there, I'm not going to worry about that. There's another one. I did it right there. I was messing up a lot in the beginning, and there are two more. Right here where I started over. What's to be done? Okay, so let me go back and look at that. Yeah, I mean it's there, but it's just not. It's not quite as obvious. And truthfully, there are going to be mistakes, even with a slave driver like Herod in charge. I'm not going to drive myself quite the way Herod did. Now, I still have to go back and see what happened with my calculations through here, because this is obviously going to be off by quite a bit, and even if my line segments kind of erred a little bit, I don't know that it's going to come back in parallel as I look at that. I think what I'm going to get is a significant divergence. And I think that divergence just gets wider and wider and wider. So before I lay all of that out, yeah, and then it's lost to sight over the slope as we begin to ascend Mount Moriah. And there's another line segment. Well, this is the patio that I have up right there. So, all right, let me go back and I'm going to recalculate, and then perhaps in the next episode we will get this wall and the other 3 walls. Well, if you count this one, 4 more walls. 4 more walls. The east wall, the west wall, the north wall, and this wall right here demarking this pavilion. Although I don't really know that I need to do this one. If I can get up in the air, I might just do it from there, because this is going to be going straight across. And all right, I will think about all of that and review my calculations and see where I went wrong. And we'll be back with another episode of Minecraft Jerusalem.